Touching the holy Kaaba. Words cannot describe it. What a day, what a day. Hey, what's up? It's Earth Room Roamer, and I'm back from a absolutely amazing and insane trip to Saudi Arabia. This was like a huge deal for me, and especially visiting Mecca. The Kaaba was out of this world. My brain hasn't even accepted fully that I got to go. When I found out that I was going to get to go, even then, I just couldn't believe it. And yeah, I'm back. The whole trip has been completed. And dude, this trip was like, I just don't even know where to begin, man. This trip was so amazing. I only got I know this may seem like a long time to some people, but it's not for me. I got only about 3 or 3.5 weeks in Saudi Arabia, but like, dude, I cannot believe that people have told me so many times while I've been traveling in the past, there's nothing to do in Saudi Arabia. There's nothing to do in Saudi Arabia. It's just a desert. Jeddah has nothing to do. Medina has nothing to do. Riyadh has nothing to do. Dude, you could not be more wrong, man. I guess if you're not into Islamic culture at all, there would be no point in going. But dude, this is my new favorite country. There is no question about it. Second favorite right there. Number 1 favorite, Saudi Arabia. And obviously this video is about someone like me, a Caucasian American, visiting Mecca, the Kaaba, because I don't think many people, especially Americans that I'm friends with, they just don't understand why this was a big deal. So many people that are acquaintances and friends over here with me, including like my parents, other people, they just don't, they've never even heard of this place, first off, and they just don't understand that, dude, I have one other Caucasian friend from the West that I know that's been to Mecca and the Kaaba, and that's it, man. There's nobody else. And you know what the funniest thing is? The country that I was in before Saudi Arabia, there was an old man that I met that had been to 160 something countries, and he said he only knew one other person that had been to Mecca that was from the West. And he said, yes, I'm not going to say his name, but it ended up being the same person that I knew, the only other person. And we both personally knew him. It was somebody I met in Iraq. So, outside of that, I'll just get down to business and talking about Mecca and the Kaaba and going in the experience. And obviously I'll start with the most controversial issue or topic at hand here. It's very obvious. Am I a Muslim? Because only Muslims are allowed to go to the Kaaba, to Mecca. And of course it should just be either a yes or no question. But dude, that is such a complicated question to answer because let me kind of explain it and tear it apart. The whole subject at hand is for many people, for many Muslim reverts, people that convert to Muslim, a lot of them kind of get started like me. They kind of get into traveling and eventually they start maybe visiting the Muslim countries. This is what happened to me. I started going to like Turkey and Egypt, the really basic Muslim countries, and was just really into Islamic societies and whatnot, and found them to be the most, not only the coolest and most interesting out of all the societies I've seen in the world, but I got the most out of it. I really, really respect Islam and Muslims, and I would almost this is kind of like, I'm sure any Americans that are listening to that just don't get it at all. Like in my, it's, if you're American, all you think that these places are just like these big places full of like terrorism, which is like, I don't want to be like pretentious here and just be like, yeah, you're not terrorists, shit. But like, dude, like those countries are so much more than that, man. And like, what I'm getting to is, I can't even like rightfully so call myself a Muslim. I would like to, but I don't pray 5 times a day. I did some fasting for Ramadan while I was in Saudi Arabia, but like, am I a Muslim that prays 5 times a day and does the whole 30 days of Ramadan and all that? And no, but have I read the Quran? Have I been in like 1,000 freaking mosques? Have I prayed in mosques like 1,000 times? Have I, do I think Islam is the true religion of the world? Yes, I do think all those things. I think that Islam is the only true religion that is like a religion to respect that is left. And Christianity in the Eastern Hemisphere of the world, yes, I think Christianity in the Eastern Hemisphere of the world is very worthy of respect. Do I in the West? No, I don't think so. Because there's no structure to it. There's no structure to Christianity in the West. Why is this society? You think is this society here like? There's no standard in Christianity for society in the West to adhere to. You think like that we'd get away with the things here in the East? No, they have a very strict standards to adhere to with Islam, and I really enjoy the Islamic communities. So the biggest point I'm getting to here is, am I like a Muslim? I would say for the most part, yes. I believe that I rightfully so have earned my place to be able to go visit this place. I can't call myself a full 100% blown Muslim. Obviously I'm Caucasian, I'm white. I can't fully even remotely understand Arabic, and you haven't read the Quran until you've read it in Arabic, right? The English version is completely, like the surahs don't even rhyme in English. You know what I mean? So like, I've done what I can. I enjoy these societies. I've prayed. I'm like explaining myself, but like the biggest thing I want to say here is, you shouldn't go to Mecca if you're not a Muslim. I do not support people that are non-Muslims going to this place, because this place needs to be continuously preserved for Muslims and people that have maybe reverts, or people even, I do support people that have like dove into Islamic societies and it's been a huge interest to them and they've gone and done a lot of it. Eventually, if they want to, I believe that, yeah, maybe like they're like me. They're not like 100% Muslim, but they're like so involved and drawn to that yeah, I believe that there's some people that I've met while traveling that I know are like really into traveling Islamic countries that have asked me like, dude, like how in the world did you go there? And I'll get to that next. How in the world did I do this? Like, how did I go? I got lucky. I got lucky. It's really, there's like 2 checkpoints total, I guess like 3, but I would say like when you go to Mecca, you go from Jeddah, obviously, and the way that I did this was, so everybody is supposed to register on an app called Nusak, I think, like Nusak, I think is what it's spelled. You're supposed to register for the day you want to go do Umrah at the Kaaba. I don't know how it works when they're doing Hajj there, but when you're doing an Umrah, for example, you have to register on an app so you can go visit the Kaaba, visit Mecca. And there's consistently a taxi driver in Jeddah the taxi drivers are continuously all day, every day. They're driving people out of the city, and there's lots of taxi drivers outside of the city that huddle together and they just wait for people that are going to Mecca to get dropped off to them. do not Uber there. You can get to the Kaaba to Mecca for like 50 Saudi Rials, I think is what it's called, for about 50. Like this Uber drive, I called an Uber and they wanted to charge me like 300. I was like, dude, like, no. So you register, you get a barcode, you get permission, and you get a taxi in Jeddah to the taxi drivers on the outskirts. Now those taxi drivers take you all the way to the Kaaba, and there's 2 checkpoints you have to get through. And this is where things became complicated for me because I didn't sign up for the app. I didn't do anything like that. I didn't even know about it till we were like 5 minutes away from the first checkpoint. They were like, "Get out your barcodes," and I was just like, so we pulled up. A couple officers, Saudi officers, like looked in the window, and everybody was showing them their barcodes on their phone except for me, and I just was like with my sunglasses and a beard grown out, and they were like, "Where's yours? Where's yours?" And I was like, "Oh," like, and then the driver was like, just show them your passport, and maybe they'll let you go." And I was like, "Okay," and I just kind of like, I was like fidgeting and looking in for my passport, my backpack, and finally they were like, "There's too many cars piling up behind you, just go." So I got very lucky on that. The biggest thing here was I didn't know if they were going to let me not only like go through without a Muslim last name. I don't know if the app you have to register on, if you have to have a Muslim last name to even register, because I don't have a Muslim last name, and I always thought this was going to be a huge issue trying to go to the Kaaba, because like not only am I Caucasian, I can't speak Arabic even remotely fluently. Like I'm from the USA, like is one huge thing. Like, dude, we might have a good relationship with Saudi Arabia right as of right now, but like, dude, I didn't see a single American at all there. I even saw Americans I saw Americans traveling there. I didn't see any at all, not a single time in Saudi Arabia. So I'm just saying, I always believed the likelihood of me being able to go to this place was extremely low, but I'm very shocked still that it worked out. It's that first checkpoint you got to get through, and I don't know if it's just it doesn't matter these days, maybe in 2023, if you don't have a Muslim last name. Because before this, I've been wanting to go to this place for about 4 or 5 years. I've been looking forward to going to Mecca, the Kaaba, and it was to the level before this that I was going to be willing to change my last name to a Muslim last name on document to be able to go to this place. That's how bad I've wanted to go to the Kaaba for a few years, So I'm glad I didn't have to do that. Honestly, like, 'cause that would have been a pain in the ass. Not only changing it, but telling my parents and my family, yeah, I got a Muslim last name now, which like obviously they're not going to understand that. They all think that this is just like a hub of the world just full of terrorists. The 1.3 billion Muslims they're all just terrorists, like, so nobody would have understood that. So I'm glad I didn't have to do that. So I got through the first checkpoint and we got to a second one. They didn't even talk to me. They just looked in the window and I was like, we got through that. And then eventually we came around a mountain. We could see the clock tower above the Kaaba. And that's when I knew, I was like, this is gonna work, man. I'm really gonna be able to go do this. Like, but there's a little part of me that was like, don't believe it till you're like looking at the freaking Kaaba like right in front of you. So I was like, when I remember when we got out of the taxi, we walked, and you're supposed to make a kind of like a wish to God when you first see the Kaaba. When you right when you see it for the first time, you're supposed to close your eyes and ask God for something. And like I saw it so much quicker than I thought I was gonna see it. We walked. I ended up spending the whole trip with a guy I met in the taxi sitting next to me. He's from India. We did Umrah together, but we were walking up on it. It was like a very long stretch to the inside, and I looked up and I could just see it like inside of the mosque, and like instantly I just closed my eyes and like made a wish to God and opened them up, and like, dude, I out of all the places I've been, dude, I just could not believe that I was looking at this thing right in front of me, dude. Like, dude, it was surreal. Like, I just don't think maybe many people that are watching this video just understand how big of a deal, not only just personally this was to me, like going and doing Umrah at the Kaaba, and like, dude, there's no traveling experience before this or after that will ever beat this. The Imam Hussein walk in Iraq is a close second though, man. That was a really good time, but man, this was an amazing experience. And like, once again, I really do not support non-Muslims going to this place. I don't know how many views this video is going to get. Probably not a whole lot, but dude, I would hate to start a ripple effect of non-Muslims going to this place, because this is kind of like, I just want that to be very clear. I don't support non-Muslims going to this thing. There's some things in the world that need to be protected and secluded from other societies, especially the West. This part of the world does not need to be going somewhere like the Kaaba and Mecca. This is a holy site that is far away and protected from, and is. I just do not support people, outsiders, going to this, unless it's me. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, man. I even touched it. I did the last prayer, the fifth prayer of the day at nighttime at it. I did either the second or third. I don't know. I did 2 rakats during the day, and then I did more at night when everybody actually was in a full circles around the Kaaba at nighttime at like 8:30 something is the last prayer. That was really amazing. And yeah, man, it was just really incredible. And anybody that's the only people that are like not fully 100% developed, like us, devoted to Islam, like me, I'm not 100% devoted to it necessarily, but like if you're really into Islam and you've been around the Muslim countries and this is something that like you really, really want to experience, like trust me, man, I know I wanted to experience this place for so long, and I still can't believe that I have. Like, I can't believe that I got to go to this place. And when I went, I stayed for 10 hours because I knew I probably won't ever be able to do it again unless I want to change my last name. But after this experience, I really do think I think anybody really could go if they really wanted to. So like, I had that whole 3.5 weeks, and my plan was to try different tactics to get to the Kaaba. Because I was like, if it doesn't work the first time, I'll try it a different time, a second time, and then a third time, and a fourth time. I'll figure out a way to get in there, And the first time, I feel like, from my perspective, that I got lucky that I got to go, So I'm really glad I got to, though. Like, it gave me plenty of time to get to go to explore Jeddah and then go to Medina after Jeddah, which Medina also was amazing. I went to the Masjid al-Nabawi, I think it's called, the one with the green dome where Muhammad is buried up there, or the tomb, the tomb of Muhammad. And, I did all, that was like my deepest part of Ramadan. And I like fasted, and I prayed 5 whole times during the prayer times in the Green Dome Mosque, and I fully explored Medina, like all the sites. And man, this was a special trip, man. And I waited a while to share any of it on social media. I still haven't shared a lot, because like, if there's one thing that I never did for likes, dude, it was this, man. This was like a personal trip. Like, I didn't even share pictures of me going to the Kaaba till a while after that happened. So I wanted time to reflect on this and to do this for God, man. I wanted to do this for God. This wasn't, this was not for likes. This wasn't something like that. Right now, like, I'm enjoying making a video talking about it because I have so many thoughts about it, and it was amazing, man. It really was. This is a special place, the Kaaba, Mecca. And yeah, I don't know. if you could just get a more surreal and amazing experience in the world than visiting this place. I highly recommend it to obviously Muslims and anybody that's really, 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 really into Islam and considers themselves like a part of them, at least Muslim. You know, not 100%, but yes, a big part of yourself, of me, is Muslim, obviously from spending all this time in these countries, you know. It's very obvious when you watch all these big YouTubers, the ones like Drew Binsky, Jay Palfrey, all the other ones that, you know, they've been to tons of places, but all the YouTubers that have traveled the world, the Islamic countries, are the ones that stand out to them the most, because these countries offer an experience that no other place can offer you. How do I explain that? What is that experience? You just got to go there. It's unexplainable. It's my favorite societies, and the root of these societies comes from Saudi Arabia. This is like what Israel is to the Jews and the Christians. Saudi Arabia is that for Muslims. This is where like the entire Quran takes place in like Jeddah and Medina when it was called Yathrib, Mecca, the Meccans, Prophet Muhammad fighting with the Meccans, you know, all of that takes place in this area. It's like an amazing experience to go here if you're into Islamic societies, or if you have enjoyed reading the Quran before, if it was interesting to you, you know. So it was a great experience, and I won't ever forget it, man. I don't think I'll. You know, I've been back for a couple of days, and I've had a little bit of depression hit me pretty hard because, you know, I love these societies, dude. There's not going to be one that was a trip that was ever as good as this one ever again, man. Even if I go back and, you know, there's some little countries left I'd like to do, but I had a little depression enter my mind because before I went on this trip, dude, there was nothing else I wanted to do more in the world for a few years than visit Mecca and the Kaaba, you know. So as amazing it was, when I came back, I was like, wow, like, what even is there to look forward to now, you know? Because, like, I didn't mention this. I turned 30 just a few days ago. You know, I'm 30. I still live in the USA. You know, I got a lot of opportunities here, but this society, it ain't the same as those societies. I like Islamic societies. Now, obviously, maybe not like fucking like Syria or Afghanistan. It's fucking like, it's like a country that's fallen apart. That's not what I'm talking about. Qatar, Kuwait, Dubai, or the United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, even some of the ones that are not doing too well, Iraq, Pakistan, Egypt is doing okay these days, Oman, all of these, they're doing all right. You know, these are, and the societies in most of them, dude, I've never seen a woman like oppressed in one of these societies. That's just something that, like, dude, I hate the United States so much, dude. Not like a retaliation way, but like, oh, dude, I just do not like United States, American society. I don't like Americans either, man. I don't like Americans. I've been back 2 days and I've had 3 different women just be like, oh yeah, I heard the women are really oppressed over there. And I'm like, well, like 2/3 of women here are on like antidepressant meds and have mental health problems. Dude, that's like non-existent in those societies. It's because they've humbled themselves through the natural order of things. Women submit to men, men submit to God. That's the natural order of things. I know that's not cool or trendy to say, but that's how it's successful. Obviously, like Iraq and Pakistan have like fallen apart, but like some of the other ones have been very successful. It's not just about the finances, it's about the happiness. Everybody's got big families in these countries. Everybody's got a smile on their face. There's a structure, not a structure, but they have a status they have to adhere to in these societies, and dude, they don't fuck around, man. Like, they don't fuck around, and I really respect them for that, man. There's no standard to adhere to here. That's why like the society at its core is fucking falling apart and is fucking shit here, and that's why all the women act like men here. It's it's just a bizarre fucking horrible society here. And I do think here in the U.S. the YouTube videos about how bad society are making society look worse than what they really are, which I've cut out. I haven't watched any YouTubers talk about reality in about a couple of months, which it's helped my mental health a little bit. Not that I need it, but I'm just saying that life ain't as bad as it seems if you're spending all your time watching about how horrible things are on YouTube, which I've definitely noticed after 2 months of cleansing my brain from that. But this society is fundamentally broken here in the U.S. And these societies, especially in a country like Saudi Arabia, man, I do like... This is that was, I've been to many Muslim countries, ones that have no problems really, and ones that have really bad problems. Dude, Saudi Arabia is like, dude, it's my favorite country, definitely. And it's not just because of Mecca and the Kaaba. It's like, dude, it's a nice place, man. And you can tell that everybody's, like 90-something% of the people there are like totally okay and happy with their lives and have big families and have to adhere and answer to Islam, which they don't fuck around with that, man. I broke my Ramadan one day about an hour early, and I had a group of guys. I was dressed like a Pakistani Muslim, and I was wearing sunglasses with my beard, and I had a group of guys just about beat the crap out of me. They were like in Arabic, like asking, "Why are you breaking Ramadan early?" And I took off my glasses real quick. I was like, "I'm from the United States, like, I'm sorry, I'm just trying, I'm trying, but it's so hot here, I've been walking around masjids all day, I gotta eat, I'm gonna pass out." And they're just like, oh, so, yeah, man, I really respect those societies, and it's sad that people over here will never visit them. So many people never will, the occasional person might go visit, Europe or something, I guess, or Asia, like Japan or something, but dude, there's just nothing to get out of an experience like that, in my opinion. If it's a country that doesn't have a bajillion mosques in it, I'm not interested anymore. Maybe maybe Ukraine after the war, and maybe some more Africa or something, but Africa has a lot of mosques. But anyways, maybe some South America, they don't have any. But, man, that's my rant about this experience, and that's all I have to say, man. Glad if you made it this far, thank you for watching. Shukran jazilan, salam alaikum, wa alaikum salam. Earth Roamer, thank you. Catch you next time.